In this video, I will show you exactly what it takes to be rich in Denmark. I will also, for the first time ever, reveal my own personal net worth. I believe it's possible for everyone living in a Western country like Denmark to become rich and financially independent. I also believe that having money can help you have a positive impact on the world and the people around you. Therefore, we should all strive to get our finances in order as quickly as possible. In my opinion, there's only one way to measure if a person is wealthy or not, and that is by their net worth. And net worth is defined as a person's total assets minus liabilities. So this means that if you earn a lot of money, but at the same time you spend all that money, you will never become wealthy. A big house or a fancy car or maybe even an expensive watch, it's not something that will make you rich in the long term. The only thing that matters is how much money you can manage to put aside for saving and investing into assets. A lot of people, they compare themselves to their friends, to their co-workers, and even to strangers on social media. And this is a big mistake, and this is something that creates completely unrealistic expectations about wealth. And that is because it's very easy to look rich. It's much harder to actually be rich. And what most people do is that they finance a very expensive lifestyle by just taking on debt. And this means that most people, they are working paycheck to paycheck every month without putting anything aside for their financial future. Wealthy people, they don't necessarily live in big houses or drive fancy cars. Most of them, they actually live a pretty simple life without the need to be flashy. And that is why you always have to look at a person's net worth to be able to determine if that person is wealthy or if that person is just pretending to be wealthy. In today's video, I'm using brand new data to do exactly that. I will show you how much money you need to be considered rich in Denmark. And to make it easier for an international audience to follow along, I have converted all these numbers from Danish crowns to American dollars. And this is something that took a lot of time and a lot of energy, so I hope that you get some value from today's video. But before we dive into those numbers, I want to start out by quickly taking a look at salaries in Denmark. And I want to show you these numbers because I want to illustrate that most Danes actually earn really good salaries. And it is quite common that you start out with a lower salary, but then most people, they manage to climb to the middle or higher levels later in life. And this is something that is normal in most Western countries. And my point is that most Danes will actually earn somewhere between $1 million and $3 million during the span of their careers. And that is, without a doubt, a lot of money. And that is definitely enough money to make you very rich if you just spend it wisely. And in this next table, you can see exactly how much money you need to be considered rich in Denmark. And this table shows net worth by age, and then you can see different numbers. For example, you can see the average net worth and you can see the median net worth. So in my opinion, the median net worth is the most interesting number of the two. And that is because wealth is not evenly distributed. Most people will have less money than the average, and that is because there is a very small number of extremely wealthy individuals who raises up the average. For example, at any age in this table, you can see that the top 1% have 10 to 20 times more money than the median. So the median is like a very interesting data point because that is the middle point. And that means that half of the people in this age group have less money than the median, and the other half in this age group have more money than the median. And that is different from the average because the average, that is just the total amount of money divided by the amount of people in this age group. And that is why the median is a better number to look at. So this graph here shows you how wealth grows as people age. And you can see that wealth tends to increase significantly as people get older. And you can also see that it's very normal to have a low net worth in your 20s. So these numbers, I think, can be incredibly encouraging, but also incredibly saddening at the same time. You can clearly see that everyone can get to the top of their age group if they just learn how to think for the long term. Remember that most Danes will earn somewhere between $1 million and $3 million during their careers. By looking at these numbers, it becomes very clear that most people are busy trying to look rich instead of actually building up assets and becoming rich. Most people, they can set a realistic goal of getting in the top 10% of their age group. You don't have to be in the top 1% to be considered rich. If you have more money than 90% of your peers, you are rich and you are in a very, very good spot, and that is a realistic and easy to obtain goal to work towards. So if you are in your 20s, you could aim for $150,000, and that would put you in the top 10% of all people in their 20s. And that number for people in their 30s is $350,000. And I think this is a great goal to work towards, and that should be possible for almost everyone if you just put some time and effort into it. So rule number 1 of getting rich is simply to spend less than you make. Wealth is a ratio between what you earn and what you need. All you have to decide is, do you want to look rich or do you want to actually be rich? Because if you live in a Western country like Denmark, then staying poor is a decision that you make. If you earn some money and you have the right habits, then being poor is only temporary. You will eventually be rich if you just do the right things. And also, you don't need to earn a 6-figure salary to become rich. You just need to save money and invest money consistently for a long period of time. And another thing that you really need to understand is that all the small decisions that you make today will have a huge impact on your financial future many years down the line. For example, imagine this. Let's say you are 25 years old and you are thinking about leasing a brand new Tesla Model Y. This will cost you approximately $700 per month. And over the next 10 years from age 25 to 35, you will be paying approximately $84,000 in lease payments. Instead, imagine that you choose to ride your bike everywhere and save all that money. Now, if you invest $700 a month into an index fund with an average return of 8%, then by age 35, your savings will have grown to about $122,000. And if you leave that investment untouched, then by the time you are 60, it grows to more than $800,000. And this is all because you decided to ride your bike instead of buying a car for a 10-year period. The point of showing you this example is just to underscore the fact that very small and seemingly insignificant choices will have a huge impact on your financial future. If you're a 60-year-old with $800,000 saved up, you are in a great spot compared to most of your peers. Let me give you another example. Let's say you manage to save and invest $285 from the age of 20 until the age of 60. That is a 40-year period, and that would give you $1 million by the age of 60. That is just absolutely crazy. And let's just, for the fun of it, say that you actually managed to save and invest $600 from the age of 20 until the age of 60. $600 each month would give you $2 million at the age of 60. If you have $2 million, that is financial freedom and financial independence, and that is being very rich compared to people your age. Okay, sorry if I went a little bit out on a tangent there, but I'm just very passionate about these things. And now it's time to calculate my own net worth and show you guys how rich I am compared to other people my age. So to calculate my net worth, we need to add up all my assets. I am completely debt-free as of right now, which means I don't have any liabilities to subtract. So if we add up all my assets, you can see here that I have a stock portfolio of $520,000 and this is before taxes because that is the way it has been calculated in the data set. And I want to be able to compare my number with all the other numbers in the table. Then we have pensions, and from that I have subtracted 40% because that is what they do in the table. So that is $21,000. I also have another pension which will be paid out completely tax-free at the age of my retirement, so I put in that amount. It's 14,800. I also have cash in the bank at 8,600. So all in all, my total net worth is $564,400. And you can see here, if we go into the table, that places me in the top 5% of all 34-year-olds. And as you can see here, there is still a long way to go if I want to reach top 1%. I am, however, pretty sure that I will get there one day. I just need some more time saving and investing and letting the compound interest do its magic. One thing that is pretty funny is that I would imagine that most people who don't know me would think that I am pretty poor. I don't own a big apartment or a big house. I don't drive a fancy car. I don't have an expensive watch. I don't wear designer clothes, and I don't go to nightclubs buying bottle service on the weekends. Instead, I just live a relatively simple and quiet life, and I spend less than I make and save and invest the difference, and I have been doing this for 10 years now. And I truly believe that this is the number one big secret of rich people in Denmark. Live a simple life, save and invest, do it for 10 plus years and you will become rich. It does not have to be any more complicated than that. And a thing that I find really interesting is that my net worth is already higher than the median net worth of all other age groups in Denmark. And this means that just because I made some good financial decisions early in my life, I am already financially ahead of most other people in Denmark. And if we look at the average net worth instead, it's the same story. My net worth is higher than the average net worth of most people in their 60s. And I must admit that this really surprised me, because when I look around in Copenhagen, I feel like everyone is doing really well financially. And I feel like most people are doing better than me. But however, when we look at these numbers, they tell a completely different story. So my goal is to just continue to spend less than I make and save and invest the difference. I hope that I will be somewhat financially independent in the next 5 to 10 years. And I want to do this because I want to experience life and everything that it has to offer while I'm still young and have the health to do so. I want to live a life where I don't stress and worry about money. I want to live a life where I can focus on my own health and well-being. I want to live a life where I can spend time on things that I enjoy doing and with the people that I enjoy doing them with. So yeah, let me hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What is your age and what is your net worth? Were you surprised at all by the numbers in this video?